What's going on, all you mentees? This is the Uncanny Omar, and today I'm doing a retro view of the Teen Titans by Geoff Johns omnibus from DC Comics. So, let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. So in case you're new to the channel, the retro view segment is where I take an existing book that's been around for a long time. Sometimes they're out of print, sometimes they're still in print, and sometimes they're coming back into print. And I go over them and give you an overview of what the artwork looks like, with a little bit of what the stories are about. Same thing as the overviews, except these are older books. For example, this is Teen Titans by Geoff Johns omnibus. This originally came out, oh my goodness, 2013, so almost 10 years ago. And we're getting a new printing of it in May of 2022. It shows the same cover by Mike McKone, and since DC doesn't really do direct market covers and book market covers, I'm pretty sure this is what they're going to stick with. Although I would have loved to have seen a Michael Turner cover, which I'll show here in a little bit, that piece of art. But yes, we're getting a new printing of this, so I figured let's go ahead and talk a little bit about why I love this particular story. So here is your cover. You have Teen Titans. I'm going to talk about when this takes place in a little bit, but you have the characters of Superboy, Robin, Impulse, which will be known as Kid Flash through these pages, Wonder Girl, Cyborg, Starfire, Beast Boy, and Raven. So those are your main characters, but much like every other Teen Titans title before this, there's also a revolving door as to who gets to come and join them. This is what the spine looks like. This is a thicker than a Snicker omnibus too. Woo, this one is 1,440 pages. So you have the Teen Titans logo up there. I love that. Teen Titans here by Geoff Johns omnibus. And then the back of the book, another Mike McKone piece. This book, when it came out in 2013, was $150, and it's the reason why it took me so long to get it. Because back then, most Omnis were about $75 to $100. Now, most of the time, we can expect a book that's over 1,200 pages from DC to be $150. And Marvel's starting to do that too with King in Black, I believe, is the very first omnibus, modern age omnibus that I saw that is going for $150 retail price. Now, I love this series so much that I had the trade paperbacks, but one thing that I did with my trade paperbacks was custom bind them into these two hardcovers. They're not as big, of course, because they're trade paperback dimensions, which are as big as the single issue comics. But I figured I don't think DC cares about this particular era after Geoff Johns leaves the book, so I wanted to go ahead and make it into my own hardcovers. And man, I did these years ago. These have to have been at least 7 years old when I did this, but kind of wanted to add the volume 2 and 3 with the DC logo to match this DC logo, match the font, match the actual Teen Titans logo up there. And then the backs of the books. Of course, what's missing is the ISBN because these aren't real. These are custom bound. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll actually get physical copies of these in omnibus format. But for now, this is the way that I have them. And I also added the missing issues in here. So I think this kicks off, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, with year 1. And it also has the, with the ads, because these are actual comic pages, the Rob Liefeld, Gail Simone issues that were not included in the first omnibus, which I'll talk about in a little while. But first, let's look at this Under the Dust jacket, which I'm 100% sure is going to look different than the new printing. This is just the bare bones way that they did designs for their books. No art on board, but I'm pretty sure with the new design, we're going to actually have art on board, and it'll probably be a glossy finish to it. Whereas this is just black with the word Teen Titans embossed. Same here. And then the logo back there. Now, let's get this book open. Look at this artwork, talk about the stories, and where they fit into the reading order of the Teen Titans. Time to sit back and enjoy this look back at some of the greatest Teen Titans stories ever written and drawn. Teen Titans by Geoff Johns, omnibus. You do have an introduction from Geoff Johns in here talking about how this idea came about, how he was a big fan of the new Teen Titans, and how Dan Didio approached him to launch this particular series. So this looks like it kicks off with the Secret Files, if I'm not mistaken, the 2005 Secret Files. So something huge has happened in the lives of the Titans and the Young Justice. So this takes place after Young Justice and after the Titans series. So you had Young Justice by Peter David, where a bunch of these characters were already friends, and then something tragic happens in this 3-issue miniseries called Graduation Day. And they do a really good job of kind of giving you a quick synopsis as to what happened in Graduation Day, who didn't make it out of Graduation Day, and setting up each of the new teams. So pretty much most of the cast, I want to say, of Young Justice evolved into the New Teen Titans books. Whereas most of the cast of the Titans became this new team by Judd Winnick called The Outsiders. So that's what this little Secret Files one-shot helps set up. So this is the Teen Titans Outsiders Secret Files. Then it collects Teen Titans 1 through 26, 29 through 46, and issue number 50. And those missing issues, issues 27 and 28 are what I was talking about when I did my custom bind of Volume 2. They are the Gail Simone, Rob Liefeld issues, but they were pretty interesting because it was Rob Liefeld drawing Hawk and Dove again, which was one of his earliest assignments when he was just a young gun. Here, let me skip some pages and get to this right here. So yeah, actually it's Robin and Nightwing that decide we need to do this separate. You need to go on about your life, and I need to go on about my life. No matter what, Batman's not going to be happy. And this also, sorry, I'm going to keep going here. It also collects the half-issue Legends of the DC Universe 80-page giant, the Beast Boy miniseries, which is interesting because that's from 1999. And it was written by Geoff Johns, and I assume that's why they put it in this particular collection. I'm glad it's in a collection now. It was also in the trade paperbacks. You also have the Teen Titans Legion of Superheroes Special number 1, the crossover with the Outsiders issues number 24 and 25, Robin 146 and 147, Teen Titans Annual number 1, Infinite Crisis numbers 5 and 6, but not the whole issue, just the important parts, which something huge does happen in those particular issues. So you do have all the crossover stuff, including the issues with Robin in here, and of course the issues with the Outsiders, because the Outsiders was kind of like their big brother comic. The younger generation was here with the Teen Titans, and the Outsiders had grown up and got new names like Arsenal and Nightwing, even though Nightwing has been around for a while. But that's what this is. This is the new Teen Titans. These are characters that formed their own team in the Young Justice, but this is a little more mature take. And I love Young Justice. It's still one of my most wanted DC Omnis, and I really wish they would finish out the complete series, honestly. The complete collections, those big thick trade paperbacks, I don't know what's going on with those. But this is a great way to start the series. You have the formation of the new Teen Titans. It takes about 6 issues for them to come together. But the very first issue is basically about Connor, Superboy, a character that appeared during the reign of Superman when Superman was supposed to have died. There's a new character that appeared. He did not want to be called Superboy, so I always found it ironic that through these pages and the pages of Young Justice, and for a long time in his own magazine, he was known as Superboy. But it's all about his secret. He knows that he is a clone of Superman. However, it's not just Superman's DNA that's mixed into him. So it's also about legacy. So Superman, there's this whole trust issue. He doesn't really trust himself, and Superman learns to kind of trust him towards the ending of this particular run here by Geoff Johns. Let's skip some pages. If you're a fan of the original Teen Titans and haven't read this, or the new Teen Titans, there's a lot of things in here that appear. You have the return, of course, of Deathstroke. He brings his daughter Rose with him, and she becomes this character known as Ravage. You have returning villains like Brother Blood. You also have characters, although that's more in Outsiders later on. But there are returning villains in here that I don't want to spoil, characters that have shown up in the past. Even if you're not familiar with the Teen Titans and you're just familiar with like Teen Titans Go or Teen Titans the cartoon, you're going to see characters in here from that series. But the main characters are, the legacy characters are Starfire, Raven, and Cyborg. And then the new generation is Superboy Connor, Cassie Wonder Girl, Robin Tim Drake, and Bart Allen, the grandson of Barry Allen, who at the time, during these early adventures, was being raised by Jay Garrick, the original Golden Age Flash. But Bart was known as Impulse back then. And this is really cool. I gotta show you this. I love this growth of characters in this particular... In just this volume, so many of the characters grow. So Impulse, towards the beginning, still has his costume, and then something horrible happens to him. Because in this particular story, man, Deathstroke is savage. He is completely just going psycho. Blows his kneecap out. So it's such a badass moment when Bart next appears in here and he's like, don't call me Impulse anymore. Call me Kid Flash. Oh, that's so awesome. And there's a lot of awesome moments in here. Yeah, right here. Impulse? Nope. Kid Flash. Oh, man. And that's just like one of my favorite moments. I think Geoff Johns just knows how to get me psyched up about things. Whether it was a character I really cared about, or whether it was a character I knew very little about, he just does a really good job of making me care about all these characters. So when something horrible happens to them, I feel like it's happening to me. And there are some horrible things that happen through here. Mainly in the big event Infinite Crisis, because during Infinite Crisis some big changes are going to happen to the team, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but I just wanted to showcase some more of this artwork. Then we get some Superboy issues here that focus on Legacy, who he is, you know, what his purpose in this life is. Is he going to live up to this role that he's destined to be, or become something better? And man, he is such a hero. Like, just the way that Geoff Johns sets up everything. Let's see, you have the return of not just Deathstroke and Ravage, but also other characters. You do have some Dead Titans that come back in this particular issue here from the past, and you can find out how that turns out. You have this Todd Nauck issue. So this is a tie-in here to Infinite Crisis, this particular issue right here. Hey, Captain Carrot. This here is drawn by Todd Nauck, and this takes place right around issue number 5 of Infinite Crisis. I will say that the parts in here that are collected from Infinite Crisis number 5 have been censored, just like every collection since then. I think the only way to have the true dialogue, and it's not a big deal, it's just when Superboy, our Superboy Connor, sees Superboy Prime kick Krypto, and his reaction is the way that any animal lover's reaction would be. Then you have the issues here of Robin, which leads into the beautiful, wonderful... I actually love this issue. This is the annual, which is basically a story about Cassie and Connor. Then you have parts of issue number 5 in here of Infinite Crisis, which leads into the big fight of Infinite Crisis. And like I said, things will change at Teen Titans because of this story. So I'm going to censor the page on the left, which is the ending of Infinite Crisis number 6, to talk about this. So this is Teen Titans 1 year later, taking place in issue 34. And what every DC title did after the miniseries Infinite Crisis, after the huge event that just completely shook the DC universe, was fast forward a year. So every title, whether it was Batman, whether it was Firestorm, Wonder Woman, didn't matter. Every title had a 1 year logo, or 1 year later logo. So everybody got to find out what happened in that missing year through flashbacks in the story arcs. And that's exactly what happens here. We have a whole new team of Teen Titans led by Robin, who has a new costume. A bunch of characters are missing from here. And then we have a new ongoing artist, who is Tony Daniel, who a lot of people are probably familiar with. He did a bunch of X-Force issues. He went on to do Spawn for a while. And of course, he went on to draw and write Batman for a long time, and is still currently working on comics. Like, what is he doing? Oh, he's working with, I think, Scott Snyder on Nocturna. I think, is that what the series was called? I read it last year. It was a great book. But we have returning characters here again. And then the missing issues in between 46 through 50. 46 is Geoff Johns' final issue. He leaves the title, and I think Adam Beechin steps in, and eventually Sean McKeever. And then issue 50 is like a big collaboration issue. It's a big anniversary issue. And he has some... Yeah, this particular issue right here. He has just a small few pages collected in here that were written by him. Then we get to the extras. So the extras, we have variant covers. This is the cover I was talking about by Michael Turner. I would love to have seen them use this cover. Even though, yes, the proportions aren't that great. But it's Michael Turner. He draws some beautiful people. Then we have the second printing of issue number 1. Some other variants right here. And then, for some reason, just this little... oh, this is... No, I don't know why that's in here. It's just Kid Flash bio from the Who's Who. not a lot of sketches. I mean, just a couple of pages of character designs and sketches, honestly, and that's it. And then you have ads. The book is 1,440 pages, retails for $150. It is one of the best Geoff Johns written stories that he did. He worked on it for so long, so many years, building up all these characters, and the payoff for them is so awesome towards the end. The last few issues, I will say, by the time he leaves, issues 45 and 46, you get the sense that he was just done with the title. And then even the issue number 50 where he came in and wrote it, like he was just done with the characters. But man, this book, completely worth getting. That, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing the new printing of this book, don't forget to check out our sponsors. If you live in Europe and are interested in pre-ordering or purchasing Omnis, then you should definitely check out Walt's Comic Shop in Berlin, Germany. They have the cheapest pre-order prices for Marvel and DC big books within the EU. Flat shipping of €9.90 for EU countries, extremely careful and sturdy packaging, emails are answered within 24 hours, and they have a superb selection of new releases and out-of-print books on their website. Just head over to waltscomicshop.com for more great deals and rare titles. And for a limited time, you can use the code Near Mint Condition, all one word, at the checkout for free shipping to all EU countries with your first order. Walt's Comic Shop, your reliable source for Omnis and premium collected editions in Europe. CheapGraphicNovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They pride themselves on packaging your books so they arrive safely in an excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. Check out the bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. CGN is excited to announce that they are now taking pre-orders. They're making it easier for you to ensure that you don't miss out on the hottest releases. CGN is currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, let them know that you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. This promotion is valid for U.S. customers only. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount and quality shipping and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the content and page count, and I usually say build of this omnibus, but because this is the original printing, the new omnibus is sure to have a better printing. Again, coming out in May of 2022. Let me know in the comments down below if you've read these stories and what you thought of them. Or if you're a big fan of the new Teen Titans by Wolfman and Perez and have never had a chance to read Geoff Johns' run. Again, it's one of my favorite stories, and I completely forgot about it until somebody asked me what my favorite Geoff Johns stories were in order on the live stream. This was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you have any more suggestions of retro views of Omnis or hardcovers I can do, by all means, suggest away in the comment section. And, more importantly, all of you, stay healthy and stay safe out there. Much love.